What do you think?
I thought it was very close.
Do you think it was illegal or not?
Referee's discretion. It was on the cup line.
No,
so.
you.
Swelling after just starting to close a bit.
So your opinion doesn't matter then?
People are more interested in your opinion.
But I'm interested in yours. You.
I'll say it was legal.
It was legal?
We can call it legal.
Illegal?
No, legal.
Okay, legal.
Oh, yeah, you must have an opinion as well.
Probably legal. It's a fight. You get hit. You get hit round the belt. You get hit round the leg. He got hit and he went down. Legal.
Anthony Joshua stuns the boxing world by backing Daniel Dubois to knock out Oleksandr Usyk and succeed where he failed.
What do you think?
I thought it was very close.
Do you think it was illegal or not?
Referee's discretion. It was on the cup line.
No,
so.
you.
Swelling after just starting to close a bit.
So your opinion doesn't matter then?
People are more interested in your opinion.
But I'm interested in yours.
In a twist that's taken the boxing world by surprise, Anthony Joshua has finally weighed in on the upcoming Oleksandr Usyk versus Daniel Dubois rematch, and his prediction is raising eyebrows. Speaking candidly in a recent interview, Joshua admitted that while Usyk outclassed him twice, he believes Dubois has what it takes to pull off what he couldn't, stop the Ukrainian maestro in his tracks. Joshua pointed to Dubois' explosive rise since their first fight, particularly highlighting the raw power and aggression that overwhelmed him during their recent clash. Despite being one of the most decorated heavyweights of this era, Joshua confessed that Usyk's movement and precision were simply too much for him. However, he believes Dubois brings a different kind of danger, one that could finally crack Usyk's armor.
You.
I'll say it was legal.
It was legal?
We can call it legal.
Illegal?
No, legal.
Okay, legal. Oh,
yeah, you must have an opinion as well.
Probably legal. It's a fight. You get hit. You get hit round the belt. You get hit round the leg. He got hit and he went down. Legal.
Somebody just sent me a text, said, who's out there to beat him? I said, Father Time, guy named Father Time. You know, that old saying, he's undefeated. He's out there. Look, it would be very interesting with Dubois because Dubois is a different guy now. Dubois is, and he's young. And you can get served, as they say. So Dubois is a different guy than he was when he fought when he fought Usyk the first time. He's redeemed himself. He's found himself. You know, he's a more confident fighter, a more together fighter. But Usyk can do whatever he wants.
Moreover, Tony Bellew, a former cruiserweight champion and longtime supporter of Usyk, hasn't minced words about the matchup. In fact, his remarks have sparked quite a bit of reaction. Bellew is firmly backing Usyk to win again and believes Dubois didn't show enough heart in their first encounter. He even claimed that Dubois quit during that fight, pointing to the moment in the 9th round when Usyk secured the stoppage. While Bellew admits Dubois is now a more refined fighter, he remains confident that Usyk's skills and conditioning will prove too much in the later rounds.
I think he's shown that he can overcome difficult times in fights now, and I think the victory over Anthony Joshua is going to propel his confidence levels to an all-time high. So I think he's well in this fight. I think he's a super dangerous challenger, and he'll go into it with a lot of belief, but I believe that belief will get shrunk as the rounds pass and as the shots start getting landed on him. The questions will be asked of him again. Oleksandr Usyk will be victorious.
The first clash between the two heavyweights took place in August 2023. At the time, Dubois was still adapting to the top level of the division. Despite his inexperience, he managed to land a controversial shot to Usyk's body in the 5th round that briefly dropped the Ukrainian. However, the referee ruled it a low blow, allowing Usyk several minutes to recover. Many critics felt that Dubois missed an opportunity to capitalize and should have shown more resilience in that moment. Bellew seems to share that sentiment, using it to support his argument that Usyk is simply a class above.
This guy's an anomaly, he's a freak, he's the genius that boxing needs. This guy is, I can't put it into words how good he is at what he does, Jim, but ultimately all good things have to come to an end. Eventually, yes, but I just don't think Daniel Dubois is the man to bring it to an end.
Since that fight, Dubois has undergone a notable transformation. He has gone on a tear, defeating top-tier opponents like Jarrell Miller, Filip Hrgovic, and most notably Anthony Joshua. These victories didn't just rebuild his confidence, they also earned him the IBF title Usyk vacated in order to fulfill a contractual rematch with Tyson Fury. Bellew acknowledged Dubois' growth and called him a dangerous threat, but he still doesn't see the Briton outsmarting or outlasting Usyk. According to Bellew, once the fight goes beyond the halfway mark, the Ukrainian will once again take control.
I'm going Usyk again, and I think by late stoppage, if not points.
Stoppage?
I think he can stop him. Yeah, I just think he figures it out. It's what his mindset and the frequency he's on is a different level to everybody else. It's like this guy's gone up against a 6'9" monster in Tyson Fury and figured him out. Yeah. This guy's gone up against one of the biggest punches in boxing in Anthony Joshua and figured him out twice. He's already beaten Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois is a big, strong guy. Immense power. I give him all the credit in the world, and he's overcome many demons, but he hasn't shown us yet that he can get this job done over 12 rounds, and I just don't see him stopping Oleksandr Usyk.
Carl Froch, another former world champion, offered a more nuanced take. He believes Dubois has improved dramatically since their initial meeting and could potentially pull off an upset if things go his way. Froch, who retired at the age of 36, understands the physical toll boxing takes, especially as a fighter approaches 40. Usyk, now 38, is showing signs of wear and tear after a long and grueling career that spans both the amateur and professional levels. Froch respects Usyk's experience and technical mastery, but he sees the upcoming fight as a much closer contest. In fact, he gave Usyk only a slight edge, saying it's essentially a 55-45 matchup, which is as close to a toss-up as it gets.
So, as I mentioned at the start, I'm here for the rematch for Oleksandr Usyk, Daniel Dubois, second time. The first time they fought, Dubois got stopped with a heavy, stiff-looking jab from the southpaw position, and people questioned his desire and heart for the game, saying that he kind of quit. I mean, he did get dropped with a right hand, and he did just stand up in time, like 9 seconds, and the referee waved it off. But he had a really good fight. He really did give Usyk something to think about. He hit him with that low blow. It was borderline. It wasn't straight in the crown jewels, but it was a low blow, and the referee declared it no knockdown. And a big fuss and song and dance was made about it being a low blow. Frank Warren made a big deal about it, and fair enough. I mean, Dubois put Usyk on the floor, and it was borderline. And you've probably seen everything. It was ruled a low blow, so it didn't go in Daniel Dubois' favour. Usyk got 4 or 5 minutes to recover, climbed off the floor, and then ended up stopping Daniel Dubois with a solid right hand. I think it was round 9. And yeah, won the fight, defended his titles. But this is the rematch, and Dubois is a different animal. He's a better fighter now. He's had some great wins against Gerald Miller, Hrgovic. He absolutely splattered Anthony Joshua. We've seen that fight, and he's now full of confidence. He's on the crest of a wave, and he's a guy now getting into the ring really, really solidly, believing in himself. He's like a new fighter. He's now IBF world champion. He's not beaten the champ to get the title. It's like...
On the other end of the spectrum, John Fury, father of Tyson Fury and a known boxing figure in his own right, has no doubt where he stands. He believes it's finally time for Dubois to shine and sees the rematch as Usyk's last stand. John Fury questioned how much more punishment Usyk can absorb after moving up from cruiserweight to face the heavy hitters of the heavyweight division. According to him, Dubois only needs one clean shot to change the course of the fight. Fury pointed out that Usyk has already been through 2 grueling fights with his son, Tyson, which may have drained what's left of his legendary endurance. In his eyes, Dubois is stronger, fresher, and better placed than ever before to dethrone Usyk and bring the undisputed crown back to British soil for the first time since Lennox Lewis.
Usyk was a lucky man. Timing was right for him. That's all I can say about that. What's done's done, but let me tell you, good luck to Oleksandr Usyk. You know, he deserves to stay champion for a long time, but again, he's going to go on too long. And I just see now Daniel Dubois becoming a multi-belt champion soon, because how many fights you got in you? You come up from cruiserweight to heavyweight. You got these big men banging away at you. He's only got to walk into one, and the bar's up for, and he's on a good win over Anthony Joshua. He had a good fight with the American Miller, you know. And at the end of the day, I just think it's a young man's game, and anything can happen. But you could well see a new champion in Wembley soon.
Not everyone is ready to jump on the Dubois bandwagon, though. Former heavyweight champion Shannon Briggs didn't hesitate when asked for his opinion. Known for his explosive personality and his signature phrase, "Let's go, champ," Briggs offered a brief but strong endorsement of Usyk. He stated plainly that he likes Usyk's chances and trusts his ring intelligence and consistency to carry him through. His short, confident answer stood in stark contrast to the more layered takes from others, but it reflected the deep respect Usyk commands among many boxing veterans.
Wow, long time. You the champ. Let's go, champ.
Oleksandr Usyk's going to face Daniel Dubois in England and Wembley. Who do you think wins that one?
I like Usyk.
Another fighter offering a valuable perspective is Derek Chisora, who has faced both men in the ring. Chisora lost a close decision to Usyk back in 2020 and is now in line for a title shot himself after defeating Otto Wallen in an IBF eliminator. That puts him in a unique position as he may face the winner of the July 19th fight. While Chisora extended well wishes to Dubois, he made it clear that Usyk remains an extremely sharp and focused fighter. He emphasized that Usyk is still operating at an elite level and it would take an extraordinary performance to beat him.
Derek, in regards to yourself, are you going to just sit back and see what happens with Dubois and Usyk first?
Yes, because I want to sit down and watch it. So, give a shout out to Daniel. Good luck anyway. You'll be fighting a guy who's very on point. So, I'll be watching.
Adding even more drama to the buildup is heavyweight contender Martin Bakole. He recently made bold claims that he had already stopped both Usyk and Dubois in sparring sessions. Though sparring is a far cry from an actual professional bout, Bakole's comments have added another layer of tension to the narrative. He didn't just offer an opinion, he made a flat-out declaration. In his view, neither fighter has what it takes to beat him, and he completely dismissed Dubois' chances in the rematch. According to Bakole, Dubois lacks the tactical awareness to deal with someone as skilled and elusive as Usyk. Whether or not his sparring stories are true, they've certainly added more spice to the already fiery anticipation surrounding the fight.
I know why I'm saying that, because I learned box from my brother with Saxpo. Not only learn from that, but I know how to stop and cross the ring. But Daniel Dubois does. I was respecting the Usyk to get beat by Gypsy King, but I was surprised, shocked. He beat Gypsy King twice. And Joshua is good, it's a tough guy, but he doesn't know how to cross the ring. That's the reason why you see Usyk is schooling them. I think Daniel Dubois will never change. He'll just keep his style, but Usyk is more higher than him, and he's going to keep the same thing, same stuff, just try to avoid that box shot.
Chris Eubank Jr. has thrown his support behind Daniel Dubois ahead of the rematch with Oleksandr Usyk, but his reasons go beyond boxing tactics. For Eubank, the decision seems rooted in a mix of personal sentiment and national pride. His support for Dubois appears to be influenced by a past comment made by Usyk following Eubank's controversial fight with Conor Benn. Usyk reportedly sided with Benn, suggesting he deserved the win, a statement that clearly didn't sit well with Eubank. That lingering tension may have pushed him to publicly favor Dubois this time around.
I saw something about Usyk saying that he thought Conor Benn won the fight. I don't know if this is true. I can't imagine that he watched that fight and thought that Conor Benn won, because it's just, I landed twice as many punches. But people are telling me it's true. If that's the truth, then I'm low-key rooting for Dubois.
Team Dubois, absolutely. Yeah.
Because that's crazy. That's really crazy to me. And I've met Usyk a bunch of times and we've always been cool, so I was kind of shocked to see that.
Meanwhile, Fabio Wardley, one of Britain's top heavyweight prospects and currently unbeaten, also shared his view on the upcoming clash. Having sparred with both men, Wardley acknowledged that Dubois has made clear improvements in the ring, especially over his last few outings. However, he maintained a firm belief that Usyk's style and intelligence would still be the deciding factors. Wardley pointed to Usyk's footwork and adaptability, suggesting that those attributes continue to make the Ukrainian a difficult opponent for anyone in the division, regardless of how much progress Dubois has made.
It's still a fantastic fight regardless. Obviously, Dubois had a bit of growing since his first time out with Usyk. So, yeah, it still makes for a very intriguing fight, but I do think for the most part it's pretty much going to go the same way. Not to take anything away from Daniel and his progression over time, but ultimately I just think Usyk is a hard man to bet against at the moment.
Dave Allen, another fighter with first-hand experience sparring both competitors, approached the rematch with a more balanced view. He recalled being personally overwhelmed by Usyk's technical precision during their time in the ring, yet he also recognized the progress Dubois has made in recent years. According to Allen, Dubois is no longer just a heavy-handed contender contender, he's grown into a well-rounded, disciplined fighter. From Allen's perspective, Dubois now brings a complete skill set into the ring, making him a far more dangerous opponent than he was during their first meeting.
I think Dubois is going to beat him. That's my early prediction. I know a lot of people will obviously fancy Usyk, and rightfully so. And as much as I like Dubois and think he's getting better and all the rest of it, I'd like to see Usyk win. I think Usyk's a great fella and a great fighter, but I think Dubois will win.
Dillian Whyte offered a take grounded in the realities of both fighters' pasts. He pointed out that Dubois' previous losses, particularly against Joe Joyce and Usyk, exposed some of his vulnerabilities when under pressure. Still, Whyte didn't dismiss Dubois outright. He credited the young heavyweight's resurgence and acknowledged the significance of his recent victories, including stoppages over high-level opponents. While Whyte admitted that Usyk has shown occasional signs of vulnerability himself, he stressed that Dubois now has a realistic chance, provided he can execute under the spotlight and find the right moments to strike.
I think it's a very good fight. It's a very good fight because obviously they met before. Obviously, you just have to see what Dubois turned up and what Usyk turned up. You know, obviously Usyk's very consistent. Usyk's very, very consistent. Dubois has been consistent, but he's had some inconsistency in his career as well. You know what I mean? Obviously the two ones that stick out is against Usyk and against Joe Joyce. You know what I mean? But obviously, but Usyk has always been consistent. You know, these fights he's been hurt, fights he's been, wobbled and stuff, and he's such a consistent professional. You know what I mean? But Dubois has got power and he's got confidence, and right now he's flying high at the minute, so it's hard to pick a winner right now.
Lennox Lewis, one of the most respected voices in heavyweight boxing and a former undisputed champion, delivered a sharp critique of how their first fight unfolded. Lewis openly questioned the referee's decision to call a knockdown by Dubois a low blow, a ruling that allowed Usyk time to recover and ultimately win the bout. From Lewis's perspective, that moment was a turning point that should have gone in Dubois' favor. He argued that it revealed a potential weakness in Usyk's ability to absorb body shots and expressed confidence that Dubois has learned from the experience. His comments reignited debate over the officiating in the first bout and added further tension to the build-up for the rematch.
I'm thinking he's ready. He's been through the trials and tribulations. He's the King Slayer, and he's got the power. He's been there before, so he was just there. He knocked the guy down, so he knows what he needs to do. So it would be great for him to do it. Another man do it for Great Britain. It's not an easy task, but he's definitely the man that can go through with it. He's done the work. He's gone through the pedigree, and he's a certified champion. So I think he has big hopes on doing it. He's gonna do it. It's definitely his place. He's at home. He's focused. He's determined. This is his dream. So, there's nothing stopping him.
You were there that night in September last year when he took on Anthony Joshua in front of 96,000 people. Were you shocked by what you saw that night?
Not shocked. I knew Daniel had it in him. The fact that he had the confidence to go out there, even the ring walk, I could tell he's pretty solid going out there. And I was very happy for him when he won, because that shot came from right field and it met its target. So I was happy for him.
Ricky Hatton, another respected name in British boxing, shared a more psychological take on Dubois' evolution. He suggested that Dubois was still carrying the weight of his loss to Joe Joyce when he entered the ring against Usyk the first time. That mindset, according to Hatton, may have affected his performance. Since then, Hatton sees a fighter who has rebuilt his confidence through key wins over dangerous opponents like Filip Hrgović and Anthony Joshua. He believes this renewed belief in himself could be the factor that tips the scales in Dubois' favor this time. For Hatton, the rematch isn't just about physical preparation, it's about whether Dubois is mentally ready to rise to the occasion.
Oleksandr Usyk, Daniel Dubois, what do you make of that fight, the rematch?
I think it's the best fight. I think they're the best two heavyweights in the world, and there was a bit of controversy with the last time, which goes with the grain in boxing, doesn't it? A bit of controversy, but no, I think Daniel's got a better chance than he had the first time. Yeah, what with the win off Joshua, that his confidence is massively up. Well, when he fought Usyk last time, he come off the defeat from Joyce, and but now he's absolutely flying. He's got as good a chance better chance than he had the first time around, I think.
Predictions split and emotions running high, this rematch promises to be more than just a fight. It's a defining moment for both fighters. Usyk's experience and technical brilliance will be tested against Dubois' newfound power and determination. The experts may not agree on the outcome, but one thing is clear: the boxing world will be watching closely on July 19th as these two heavyweights settle the score under the lights at Wembley Stadium.